Hello and welcome to the Little Minds Big Ideas podcast with the Early Years Network. We're back.
We're back, baby.
We're back. It's July now.
It's warm now.
It's warm when we're filming this. Apologies.
It was very cold when we stopped.
It was.
And rainy and wet.
Raining. If you're watching this on the YouTube, apologies.
In the YouTubes, you'll have a very sweaty couple.
You will. We're back for season 3.
Season? I can't believe we're already on season 3.
Right, and it looks a little bit different.
It does. We've had a bit of a glow up since we've been away.
All the lights aren't helping with the heat though, are they?
No,
It's
but
be lovely in the winter.
showbiz, baby.
Showbiz.
It is what
yes.
it is.
It is. But it's beautiful. I love our new podcast set.
Much more chilled, isn't it? Though it might be a bit awkward when we get a third person. Especially
Very
this
close
as well.
and intimate, yeah.
Like,
all on
well,
top.
hello, sir.
Just the two of us for now.
Probably not very good for our audio listeners.
No.
But if you want to come and check out, head over to YouTube and you can see our
Yes, our new
lovely
set.
swanky new set. We haven't quite got the TV hooked up yet, I just realised.
No,
But
fine.
that will come alive over the next few weeks.
So yeah, we are back with season 3 and we've got some fun things lined up for this season. We're going to tackle the podcast a little bit differently.
Same, but different.
Yeah, same but different. We're going to add a couple of new segments in. So we're going to do an in the news section.
Or as I like to call, what's up, Jack?
In the news. Then we'll talk about the main event, like what it is we're going to cover. And then I'm going to do sort of a book of the week.
Book of the week, and we'll alternate between kiddies' books and training books.
Yes, so a little
CPD.
bit of CPD as well, but also some of my personal favourite books that I like to read in settings with the children as well. And then it will be a what's on the platform. So what is going on the Early Years Network platform for you to go and have a little look at.
What's new?
Exactly. So this week, to kick us off.
In terms of the news, should we talk a little bit about June? So we had a lovely holiday. We had a little time off.
We did.
We redesigned a studio. We moved a sofa in, which was good.
We went to a wedding.
We went to a wedding, my best friend's wedding.
Yeah, we've had a really busy month.
There was a bit of strategy behind choosing June to have some time off the
little bit.
podcast.
Yes, we were very busy people.
Because
So,
finding time to record a podcast in between
full-time job.
coming back from holiday and also trying to get involved with a wedding
Yeah,
and
it was
also
a lot.
designing the studio in the meantime would have been quite an interesting feat.
Yeah, so we gave ourselves a little bit of breathing space, didn't we?
We did. And
But I feel ready to come back now, which is nice.
how many weeks did we do last time? Was it 29?
Something like that, yeah.
It was just short of 30, I swear, because it actually really aggravated me that we didn't do the 30
I know.
round it off.
But never mind.
Where would that take us to now? It would take us into New Year, wouldn't it, 29 from here?
Yeah,
Still.
probably.
Yeah, it must be 20 odd weeks into the year, so it must take us into 26.
We will.
2025, not 2026, crikey.
Um,
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. Now, in the news and the main section this week are kind of going to link, because when you're listening to this, it's the 1st of July. And
Yeah.
Monday the 1st, yes.
Always throws me. We're a new season and Ben still can't quite wrap his head around
What's going on with the times?
time zones.
Which means we are only 3 days away
Yes.
from the upcoming
Is the vote the Thursday?
general election. Yes,
Yeah,
we vote on the
4th.
Thursday, the 4th. By the time you hear this, it's too late if you've not registered to vote, so I can't remind you to do that.
The time of recording is too late to register
It
as
is,
well.
yeah, so
you really missed the boat.
you've missed it. Try again next time. But yeah, so we're only a few days away from the general election. Ben actually studied politics at university, so he's got a degree in politics.
Yeah, but I didn't become a politician, so you can trust me.
Yeah, so it's fine. But we are going to talk a little bit about what the 4 main parties
Yeah, I've got
are
all main ones because Reform don't talk about early years. They're too busy trying
rather
to.
not talk about.
They're too busy mounting guns to shoot down the poor people in boats.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what they're saying about childcare. We're going to try and keep this really neutral.
Yeah.
I'll try really hard not to throw opinions across. I think it'll
But the
be
thing is, we'll be opinionated around
childcare. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you wear a red shirt, a green shirt, a blue shirt,
yellow
or a
shirt.
yellow shirt. It's all very much of a much. So
Yes.
this will be about early years and what we can do to improve early years, not about political point scoring or whoever your favourite team is.
Yeah. So shall we start with what we want to see? So should we go through this list that we've made?
No, I think we should start with.
We'll start with the parties.
Let's go through the post and let's start with the Lib Dems, especially because with Lib Dems, there's more meat on the bone than anywhere else.
So if you've not seen the post on our Instagram feed, you've still got a couple of days to read through it. So have a little look on our Instagram page. It is just the Early Years Network and you'll find it there. And Ben's done a fabulous job of breaking down what every single manifesto for these 4 says about what they're going to do for early years.
Yeah, basically, Download Manifesto, Control F, search, search my way through the sparse sections dedicated to the world of early years. Quite a lot in schools, but even the school stuff just felt...
I think the fact it fits on a 10-page Instagram slides shows that.
And
that's
I had to work hard for some of it as well. Like some of the Labour stuff actually applies probably more to schools than us.
Yes. So shall I read through?
Should we just do one at a time and then we'll just talk about it? So to begin with the Lib Dems had... It's like someone in the Lib Dem party when they were creating this had slightly more of a keen eye on early years than any of the other parties.
I agree, yeah.
But just to start with, that doesn't mean the Lib Dems will be able to deliver it from a financial perspective. You can promise whatever you want, especially when you are the third, fourth choice party. In an election, your manifesto can be slightly more robust.
Exaggerated.
I mean, if you look at the spend commitments of all the parties, the Lib Dems are outspending everyone by a significant margin.
Right.
And you can do that when you're in that, because the odds are they're not going to get into power in any way, shape or form. So you can just be a bit more bullish.
Yeah, and savvy with what you say.
Yeah. So invest in high quality early years education and close the attainment gap by giving disadvantaged children aged 3 and 4 an extra 5 free hours a week and tripling the early years pupil premium to £1,000 a year.
Yeah.
So really
sounds good.
Yeah, right. Well, sounds great, but also let's not forget the funding for that age group is also really low at the moment as well. So it's not great, is it? Because then that's 5 more hours per child per week that you'll be able to pay out for. So unless they're willing to address the actual overall funding cost, which no one's committed to or makes any reference to, it's actually just adding more burden.
Okay, the next one. Reform Ofsted inspections to end single word judgments so that parents get a clear picture and the true strengths and weaknesses of each school, and schools get the guidance and support they need to improve. I'd like the sound of this.
But again, what are they going to replace it with?
But I don't know where it's going to go, because unless you're just going to get a 1-page profile on each place, I don't know. But I like the idea of... I just like the fact that it could be that we're not judged by a word.
But I also put this in, it doesn't actually reference early years, it only reference schools. I just assumed if they got rid of it in schools, they would have common sense to do the same with early years.
Also, but it's not always the case.
I did think that when I put it in. The thing is, right, with Ofsted inspections, they are promotional material for parents to scan. Parents who have no idea about early years will scan them and go, oh, that's nice, great, whoopsie-doo. There's very little meaningful support for settings.
Yeah.
And that's why when I put the big picture class together, it was me trying to get all of the little tidbits nurseries get of like why you've not hit outstanding or why you've not hit good, etc., what you need to do to improve. It was me trying to combine all of those and then create a framework that you can work off with the question sheets that you can model against your nursery. And it's real and up-to-date information. Because otherwise... Ofsted don't give us that much in the way of support. No. Even when, you're not an outstanding nursery, what you need to work on is they can give you like 12 words.
Yeah, and also nobody comes back out to support on how to do that.
They're not a partner.
No.
They're there, they turn up every 5 years, or if someone complains or something goes awry. They've got a really important role with safeguarding, don't get me wrong, like absolutely. I mean, the Green Party are talking about, which we'll get to later, abolishing Ofsted, etc., etc. It's just, what?
Yeah,
because someone has to be there to protect children, because there is...
Yeah, we need somebody here to...
Settings and vulnerable...
Yeah. Okay, we're going to be here for hours talking about this if we keep going.
Okay.
Shall we fly through the next few little points? So, appoint a cabinet minister for children and young people.
Yeah, sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, fine.
Yep.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay. Double statutory maternity and shared paternity pay, an extra use it or lose it month for fathers and partners, and make all parental pay and leave day 1 rights and extend them to self-employed parents.
So I just assume this is meaning from day 1, as in like you start employment, it's not that run-off period?
Yes, I think so. I do. I get that.
Yeah.
So
sure.
That's fine. Reviewing the rates.
The only thing is that is there for... That is there for abuse, in the sense of, I've just found out I'm pregnant, I'm going to go get a job.
Yeah. Review the rates paid to providers for free hours to ensure that they cover the actual cost of delivering high quality childcare and early years education. They can say that.
They can review anything they want, though.
That's what I mean. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we're going to get any more money or less money or whatever. It's just we'll
They
look
could
at
still
it.
be reviewing it within 4 years.
Exactly. Develop a career strategy for nursery staff, including a training program with a majority of those working with children aged 2 to 4 to have a relevant early years qualification or be working towards one. Not sure how they're going to, what more they want to do with that.
There's already
And why is it people under 2 don't get to work towards anything?
It's the issue in early years when it comes to training and development. The level 3, the level 2, even the level 6. How up to date is it?
Yeah, and they take so long for people to get.
That's the other problem, isn't it? It's how good is the actual qualification these days?
I did a
level
level
up to date
3.
the science and the information that we have, and then the length of time it takes. We've seen people leave the industry within a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
But then it takes a year and a half to
Qualify them.
and then qualify them. Yeah.
So I did a level 3 in a CIPD level 3 from September to June, with the college having half terms and all sorts. And I still managed to get a level 3 certificate then in that period.
Could be streamlined more efficiently.
Definitely.
And streamline it in a different way then. Make the level 2 worth doing to then lead into the level 3.
Exactly. Don't redo stuff.
Make it have to work. It's like saying, I'm actually not going to do my GCSEs. I'm just going to go straight to my A-levels. But it's not. It's synced. It sort of has to flow, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'd have thought so. Include a specific emphasis on identifying and supporting children with special educational needs and disabilities in the new training programme for early years staff. I like that idea, including some SEN within the qualification, because you don't really touch on it.
No, and it seems to be such a
hot topic.
Well, it just seems to be more and more children requiring that support nowadays, doesn't it? And I don't know if that's because there is just generally more children with SEN, or if there's less of the establishments that were previously providing that support and care.
Maybe.
But I don't know. I'm not clued up.
Replacing the 3 different current registration processes with the single childcare register.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Fine. And commissioning a practitioner.
I think that's for childminders, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I'm not clued up again on how there, but that seems, if you're streamlining the process for childminders, I can only assume that'd be a good thing. Maybe let us know if you are a childminder.
And finally, on the Liberal Democrats, we've got commissioning a practitioner-led review to simplify regulation, reduce administration burdens, and attract new childminders while maintaining high standards. Love that.
Again, but it's all review this.
Yeah.
Review, though. There's no evidence or promise of what they're going to do.
Yeah. On paper, I think it reads great. I think you read that and it's like brilliant. But like you said...
Do you not just read it as more waffle, though? More false sort of empty promises?
Yes, that's what I mean. It's there. It's great. Brilliant. We'll reform Ofsted. We'll review funding costs. We'll make the training better. I just don't know how.
It reads as like somebody who's clicked into like a news article titled like the downfall of early years while we're struggling and gone, okay, we'll review that. We'll look at that. Yeah, sure, okay. And they've just taken one-liners. They've not actually done any depth research on how they can solve the problem.
No, exactly. So, yeah. But on paper, not bad.
On paper,
on the truth, I don't.
At least they've opened the article and had a little look.
Yes. Yes, some of the things in there are touching on, okay, right, this is what we're kind of looking at, okay?
Yeah, Labour,
the Reds. Over 3,000 new nursery classes across England to open up and assess to childcare hours for families. Spare school classrooms will be converted into high-quality spaces for nurseries paid for by ending the tax breaks private schools enjoy. I'd love to know how many spare classrooms there are.
Well, apparently, from the comments we had on the other one, there's apparently quite a lot because
but how are they
children accessing schools is getting less and less, apparently.
But the high-quality nursery space in a classroom...
I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know. But 3,000 new classrooms, it feels a little tone deaf. The industry needs support, and the industry's crying out for and giving them, which we're going to touch upon later, areas that we need the support. And instead they're going, but actually because we're throwing more money at it, then there's more parents picking up the childcare because of quote unquote free childcare. Mm-hmm. We're just seen as a factory of looking after children.
Yeah.
And that's the prism they're viewing it in. They're completely blinkered and ignoring. And this, I'm not picking on Labour Party here, this is everyone. Blinkered to the idea of the education element to it,
100%.
the recruitment crisis, the need for more training, send aspects. Like, we'll just ignore all that. Let's try and just cram more kids in. Oh, damn it, we haven't got enough settings because the ones that we have got are on the knees, and there's plenty of closed since COVID.
Yeah.
But sorry, let's just open more. And Labour have done this before. They have tried to open up settings within schools, and it didn't work.
So that was point number 1 for Labour.
That is point number 1 for Labour.
Labour will deliver 500,000 more children hitting the early learning goals by 2030 and will bring new focus supporting language skills and maths learning right from the start. I think children will hit the targets when they hit the targets.
I'm not really sure how again, that's just a statement. There's nothing there to deliver.
No, and are we seeing a significantly low amount of children hitting their early learning goals in reception?
But to achieve that, you've got to get more children into early years, which they've sort of touched upon at the start. And then you need to make sure that there's the quality of teaching and education through early years, straight into primary school reception.
Primary, yeah.
What are they going to do to achieve that?
They've not really said.
No.
Labour will support staff working in childcare and early education so they are recognised for the skills and important work they are doing. Good. Thank you.
It comes across a little bit condescending, that one, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah. What are they going to do, though? That's what I said to you, wasn't it? Maybe we'll get a certificate in the post.
Or medal.
Medal of honour.
Maybe. Yeah, again, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Labour has commissioned Sir David Bell, former Chief Inspector of Ofsted, to look at how we can drive up standards in childcare in England. Brilliant.
Well, on the basis he was Chief Inspector of Ofsted, and Ofsted's one of the things he said we'd review and structurally change. I've never met Sir David Bell, so
no.
Fingers crossed if he does come in, which is likely he will, then we'll get some sort of change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ofsted hasn't really changed, so what did he do when he was at Ofsted?
But maybe he didn't have the remit to make drastic change.
Maybe.
I can't believe it's just one person who has the ability to change Ofsted, so
True.
at least he's the man in. You would assume he'd be somewhat in the know. So having people who are clued up,
knowing about Ofsted and things.
Assuming he's not just school-based, because I guess if he's just school-based, then
You do get a lot of school-based people come and do early years Ofsted inspections, and they don't really know what
early years
is about and what they're looking for. If you listen to the podcast episode with Hayley last year, she talks about the fact that her head teacher goes and inspects nurseries, and he says to her, okay, so what is it I'm really
what am I looking
for? Labour will deliver the enhanced entitlements the government have offered, saving thousands of pounds a year for working families.
So they say they'll stick to what the Tories have pledged.
Yeah.
Yep.
Labour will support 750,000 more parents to re-enter the labour market. Yep.
Again, it's just because there's more child, so they're delivering it through an increase in
yeah.
funding and also the more settings within schools.
Labour will provide free breakfast clubs in every primary school in England, paid for by ending tax loopholes and clamping down on tax evasion.
Sure.
It's very bold to say that we're going to end tax evasion and pay for everyone to have breakfast clubs.
Do they mean tax evasion from the private schools?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
Or tax breaks or tax evasion, maybe. I mean, the Dems made a big thing of that as well, didn't they? I mean, I remember
I used to run a breakfast club. There's still a number cap on it.
Well, there would have to be, for health and safety requirements.
Yeah. So free breakfast clubs in every primary school. That's fine, but not every child's still going to be able to access them.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Breakfast clubs drive up attendance and standards and improve behaviour and attainment because it's not just a club. It's not about the club, not just the breakfast.
Because it's about the club,
Sorry,
not just
it's
the
about
breakfast.
the club, not just the breakfast.
It's warm in here, I'll let you off.
I, to be fair, I did used to love working my breakfast club. I did, it was really fun.
So is it educational or is it just purely?
No, you come in, have breakfast, like bonding, like socialising, yeah.
I guess in certain areas it's a very valuable asset, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It keeps children off the streets, it keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah.
It gives parents...
But for us in early years...
And it extends, quote-unquote, childcare, I guess, for parents, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I mean, as in early years, though, that's not a massive...
No, but it's the type of thing that you want to see your government striving to be able to deliver if we financially
Free breakfast clubs, yes, agreed.
As a country, we are massively in debt, etc., etc. So you can't spend everything that's nice to do. You can't afford to do. That's just unfortunately the way life is. So things like that, though, are the types of things you'd like to see your government striving for, not designing fancy boats. And
yes, I agree.
I'll keep that.
We'll give parents choices for an earlier start to the working day, helping families to get on, not just get by. I'm assuming that's with the breakfast clubs available. People will be able to go to work earlier, earn more money, etc. Which, fine.
Cool. So that's Labour. That's basically... Labour's very much felt like we're going to keep with the pledges the Tories made and then we're going to bolt on this slightly more practical solution of there's not enough childcare places for the children, so let's use some open, empty rooms across primary schools.
Yeah.
Sort of generally what it feels like.
Yeah. Okay, Conservative.
Yep.
Working parents of 2-year-olds are now able to access 15 hours of free childcare, with over 200,000 2-year-olds already benefit from the offer.
Yeah, cool.
Fine, that's already happened. From September 2024, eligible parents of children between 9 months and 2 years old will be able to access 15 hours free childcare.
Yep.
We're already kind of working towards that. From September 25, all eligible parents with children from 9 months when they start school are able to access 30 hours of free childcare a week. Once the rollout is complete, families will save an average of £6,900 per year.
Cool. We already know all this, didn't we?
We did. In April, we raised the threshold at which individuals began to lose child benefit from 50,000 to 60,000 and half the rate at which it was withdrawn. We will also move to a household system rather than an individual basis for child benefit. They've already done it in April. Fine. To help the childcare sector expand, we have committed to increasing hourly funding rates for the next 2 years by an estimated £500 million, helping the sector, including childminders, to hire more staff, create more places and spend less time on paperwork.
The thing is, I'm not entirely... 500 million sounds like a big number, but
I'm a lot of councils it's got to go towards.
I'm not convinced it is.
No.
Without looking at what the overall spend is on funding yearly, I probably should have done that before we came on, but I don't think 500 million is a hell of a lot.
Also, over the next 2 years, it just doesn't give me much hope for after that.
No, but I don't know what the spend, like I said, I don't know what the current spend is, and I don't know what 500 million would be in relation to...
No, it sounds like a big number.
But in relation to inflation and other bits and pieces, because that would be that's what's going to test it. You saying a number's all well and great, but if inflation, something else happens, no one could predict that the war in Ukraine, etc., things come out of nowhere. And I also don't foresee interest rates and everything plummeting. I mean, it's never going to get back down to the levels they were 5-6 years ago. So on that basis, inflation will eat into whatever figure they say.
Yeah.
And really, you'd want to see funding figures somewhat tied to those sort of mechanisms as opposed to just floating random numbers out in the air.
Yes. They've got another number here coming up. Are you ready?
Yeah. I did write this, by the way.
I know, I'm just having a chat, that's all. To give working parents more flexibility, we are investing £300 million so that all parents can access wraparound childcare before and after school club by September 26. That's interesting because it's very similar to Labour's, but Labour's have just specifically spoken about breakfast clubs and being free, whereas these guys have put a number to wraparound care. So it's just a different way of wording it, I suppose.
But again, it's
same, but
it's so focused on getting people back to work, isn't it? That is what their entire focus has been since COVID.
Our plan has already delivered family hubs in over 75 local authorities. We will go further to deliver a family hub in every local authority in England. And finally, we will create more places in children's homes while prioritising keeping families together where that's the best for the best child through our kinship care strategy and helping children grow up in loving adoptive families where they is a better option. Nice.
So far, I think with the three of them, you can clearly see the pattern is, and it has been since COVID, getting people back to work. Clearly they think that what the economy needs is more people to be back in full-time or as close to full-time employment as possible.
Yeah. And then you look at it from the other side, why would you want, if somebody wants to spend their time with the first year, 2 years of their child's life being at home with them and bonding and stuff, shouldn't be that pressure.
No, back to the factories. Come on.
There shouldn't be that pressure.
I agree. But
my friend's just given birth to her baby girl and she's already upset that she has to go back to work next June.
I know, but it's awful, isn't it? Waddling around, pretending she's all injured and just get back to work. Come on.
You just had a C-section and Jesus.
But that's the thing, isn't it? That's what they're trying to... Through these policies,
that's what it sounds
there's
like,
nothing in this in terms of, how can we assist and help the earlier sector? Everything
we're going to touch on what we wanted to
do with early years isn't there. It's all shaped around childcare. Education doesn't get a look at.
Yeah. Okay, you ready for the Green Party?
Do you know what? Before I sat down and did this, I expected there to be more from the Green Party.
Yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I thought it would be right up their avenue.
Let's have a look. For $1.4 billion per year to be invested in local authorities, ensure start centres and extend the outgoing government's offer for childcare to 35 hours a week from 9 months. Where are they finding this money?
1.4 billion was a lot of money, to be fair, for Sure Start centres. I mean, again, like I said earlier, it's the type of place you want to see money being poured into.
Yeah.
But 1.4 billion.
Where are they getting it? It's just, again, it seems like one of those, and upping it to 35 hours a week. Only sounds like 5 hours more, but that funding money's got to come from somewhere. Review assessment targets in school so that arts and vocational subjects are treated equally within the curriculum. Children are supported to play and learn outdoors, and every child can learn about the climate and biodiversity crisis to equip them for the challenges ahead.
I mean, you expect that to be in a green. If that's not in a Green Party manifesto, something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, but reads nice.
Does.
Supports higher education.
But again, very vague.
Yeah.
Just throwaway comments and lines and nothing you can ever hold them to.
No. We told you to go and let the children play outdoors.
It's in our manifesto.
Support every higher education student with the restoration of grants at the end of tuition fees.
And the end of tuition fees. So if they're ending tuition fees.
Yeah.
Again, I've not really looked into this. I saw this and I was like, what?
We've been promised that.
Ending tuition fees. No, but no one's ever
said they're going to end it. No.
Ending tuition fees is a mad one. If that's what they mean, if they actually mean like full on, that's writing off billions.
I was going to say, yeah. Reduce the stress in our education system by ending high stakes formal testing at primary school and secondary school, and by abolishing Ofsted.
Probably the most anarchy-led sentence I've ever read in my life. So you would end up with no GCSEs. A-levels wouldn't count as secondary school because technically it's college, isn't it?
You'd have no primary SATs test.
And what do you do with no Ofsted? I'm not being funny, but like...
You're just going to have lazy people.
But it wouldn't work. Why would teachers... Just won't... Who's going to safeguard and protect children? Like, it just... I understand that people think Ofsted need major reform and etc., but to just get rid of them...
It seems like a bit much, doesn't it?
I mean, I haven't read the rest of the manifesto. Maybe I should. Maybe they also want to get rid of the police while we're at it, because there's a few really dodgy police officers.
Yeah, why not?
Just get rid of it all.
Okay, move...
Also, by the way, that's probably where the 1.4 billion a year is coming from, because if you're no longer having to pay anybody on Ofsted...
Put it into our short
no more exam vigilators. I mean, at that point, you may as well just have no teachers as well, sod it.
Just let all the kids just wander
play with
around.
the trees.
You get outside. Move academies and free schools into local authority control, removing charitable status from private schools and charging full VAT on fees. Private school places for children with special educational needs will not be subject to VAT. This will be an interim measure while public sector capability is built.
This is one thing I found quite interesting, actually, because, you know, Lib Dems and Labour talked about closing the loopholes so that private schools would have to pay VAT, and that would obviously get passed on to the parents. One thing I found interesting, and someone did raise the point, did this include SEND settings, which are technically, you know, there are SEND schools out there that you are technically private because they're not public schools.
Yeah.
So children that have...
A lot of them run by local authority.
But not all of them.
No.
And that's why the Green Party specifically referred to those with special education needs will not be subject to VAT. I just wondered if maybe they just hadn't quite thought of that.
Yeah.
Because that would potentially cause a problem. Because if I was a child with like any sort of severe SEND and I was paying for them to go to a school because that's where they got the best care, I'd be livid. If somebody started trying to charge me an extra 20%, it's like, come on, give me a break. I'm not choosing to send my child to private school. This is actually for their betterment.
For them, protect provision of free school breakfast clubs for all primary school pupils. This is a big one. It's come up everywhere. The need for breakfast clubs.
Again, that revolves around pushing
getting people back to work. Employment. Yeah.
But also that does support a massive part of society that needs that support and that help.
100%. Yeah, it's interesting that it's come up everywhere. Green MPs will push for $5 billion to be invested into special needs provision and within mainstream schools. This means that all schools will have fully accessible buildings and specially trained teachers, and local councils will have the funds to properly support SEND students at school and getting into school. There's no mention of us in early years here, and I feel like we're getting a little bit left behind.
Again, you got to deal with it until they get to school, and at that point, it's the same with funding though. For a lot of sending, it doesn't kick in until they're about to leave early. Yeah.
Fully restore the role of the school nurse, ensuring that schools have access to an on-site medical professional.
I like that one.
Do they not?
I just thought it was nice. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. Our school nurse used to sit us in a room and give me a cold flannel. No matter what was wrong with you got a flannel.
Did you feel better?
No.
Oh.
It's like when I had really bad ear infection or something and my tonsils were killing me. It's like, have a flannel. I was like, what am I going to do with a flannel? Where do you want me to put it?
On your head. Give children and students at all state-funded schools and colleges access to a qualified counsellor. I like that. I just don't know where they're coming from.
I think again that you'd have to straddle them over multiple schools. You couldn't just have a counsellor sitting in one school all day. You'd have to do Monday in one school, Tuesday in another school. But again, that's the right idea, that's the right kind of thing.
I think for all of them, it's the case of I think they've just not really hit the mark on what anybody wanted to see from early years.
The thing is, in the manifesto, you're never going to present the answers. But it gives you a steer of their intentions and the views of how they're viewing it. And clearly from what's in all these manifestos, early years is still nothing more than just childcare, which is incredibly frustrating.
Very.
I get it. I understand when you zoom out of the world of early years, childcare is the role we play as providing childcare is without a doubt an absolute foundation of society because it enables people to go to work. But it's more than that.
100%.
And you would hope that the leaders of the nation and the people who are writing these, you would hope there's somebody within these parties who understands and gets that and is a voice for early years. Because if not, we're just going to see this.
Yeah, we're not going to see what we're actually what people have been pushing for and fighting for. And it's just a little bit disappointing, I think, to read all four of them. And they're all kind of saying same, but different. Do you know what I mean?
Again, like I said, the only party that had somewhat of more of a inclination was the Lib Dems. They seemed to have a slightly more clear idea.
But they're just going to review it all.
Yes, it was
There's
empty
nothing.
promises.
Yeah. So some of the things that we thought actually we would have liked to have seen.
And some of the feedback we've had from people across social media as well.
Yeah.
There's always been one of these 7, 8 points. The first one that we focused on was cost of childcare.
Yeah.
And the funding. And though the rate at the moment, across the board, babies at the promised twos, it is
better.
It is a decent rate. You worry about the future. Or I personally, well, I've said this many a time on this podcast, it's what it's going to be in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years' time. And what we've seen with the preschool rate is it's just dithered.
Yeah, it's not supported.
And it's no longer really, it doesn't work anymore. And if they do that with all the other funding rates, the system as a whole will break down. Because at the moment, your babies might be profitable, your twos might be profitable, and they keep the whole thing going because preschool's not profitable.
Yeah, and that's not how you can run a business on.
Well, soon, if the government is now your main anybody before 9 months, the majority of their hours is now going to be from just the government. So that is a real worry and something that is never going to be resolved, I don't think. It doesn't matter what they come out and say. Okay. There's a trust issue between society and government these days.
The next one is SEN. We've got written down. I think at the moment in early years, we are fighting, I know personally for us, we're fighting in a corner for SEN children and their needs and also supporting the needs of other children around them and the lack of sort of understanding that a child's additional needs don't kick in until they're 4 and going to school.
Yeah.
Because if the child's got additional needs, the child's got an additional need. And if the funding is supposed to be there to support them and you're having to fight for it, it just becomes really tedious.
I think the most outrageous one of the lot of them is when a child is born deaf or blind or has Down syndrome or anything like that, where it's not up for debate. It's not like, oh, they might, no, this child needs support because they're blind, they're deaf, they've got Down syndrome. They obviously need support in terms of in the provision. That will massively benefit them. And there's children, for example, who are blind, who are more than capable of being in early years settings. They don't need to go anywhere else. Or they might be deaf, but they just need that extra support. And the fact that you've got to fight tooth and nail for it
You currently
mad.
can't get funding for children with, say, like you've just said, until their government funding kicks in.
At the age of?
Well, it's currently before all of it came in, they would have got 2-year-old funding.
They would have got the 2, right.
Yeah.
That's mental, isn't it?
So
the whole time in a baby room, they're blind. It's not like all of a sudden their vision's going to come back.
No, until they get to 2.
But then also parents at the same time are desperately pushing to try and get those, the government's pushing to get those parents back to work.
Exactly.
Oh, you're not allowed to be with your kid. You have to get them back.
Yeah, but we're not going to support the settings.
Oh, they're blind.
For your child.
Tough.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No.
And it's not like something, you can't even cheat the system.
No.
Like, who's going to manage to fudge the fact that their child's blind to get extra support? Like,
I know.
It's just
ridiculous, isn't it?
It's clearly just someone not thinking, along the line.
It through. No. Recruitment and retention. Recruitment has been an issue for years, and it's not something that's getting easier. The
problem is it's all layered on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's all interconnected. So the issues around funding, the issues around the money then going into nurseries, the issues around SEND and the pressure it's putting on inside settings, it's all a really bad mixture that's causing people to want to leave early years. Not because they don't enjoy it, etc., but there's financial factors, and then there's the stress level of operating within that environment, the lack of support there. And unfortunately, it's not something internally we can just fix overnight. It's going to require the government giving more attention and detail around early years, and that's already, when you look for the manifestos, is clearly lacking. It's not. Yes. I'm not sat here saying what needs to happen is billions and billions of pounds needs to be tipped into the industry. It's not going to happen. We're not. Society isn't in a place to have that exposable income.
Just like somebody who's been in the industry and gets it to have a look at the training that we're providing for people.
And we need as an industry and a sector, we need energy from the government.
Yeah,
a little bit more money, but energy and investment of that energy is what we need.
Yeah,
it sounds daft that, but if they'd have come out with a detailed plan of how we're going to support, how we're going to help, how we're going to review things, just getting more voices from the early years community into government, it'd be a massive support and a step in the right direction.
What is it we actually want to see from our people in the industry? We just kind of touched on training as well.
Yeah, sign up to the www.theearlyyearsnetwork.co.uk.
Exactly, for all your CPD needs.
But again, if you go through the level 2, level 3, there's some fantastic bits in it, but there's also really outdated bits in it. And we're trying to piece that gap.
Yeah.
But somebody within level 2 and level 3 should also be doing that and constantly just reviewing it based upon how society's changing. If our training is the same 20 years on, in any industry, it's going to be outdated.
Yeah, no, completely.
We're no different.
Inequality and the attainment gap. Kind of touched on a little bit because they're all trying to get people into schooling and things like that. I think all of them do touch upon that sort of thing. But in early years, I think it's just a given that we're open all day and that if children can't get there, they can't get there. It's not mandatory for us.
I think there's a bigger threat coming here when we talk about closing the attainment gap, is the fact that if we're losing more and more qualified people, settings won't be able to operate. And the first place those settings will start to close in are those in the parts of society most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because those who are in the slightly higher income areas will be able to provide staff more money, so they will get the qualified staff. And the settings where you don't have that extra income, parents are only taking you up on the childcare, the free childcare offer.
The funded that, if that doesn't move for 3 years, then you're going to struggle.
Because if you can only afford to pay people what now the government have shoved up to minimum wage, and the other people can then afford to put an extra £1, £2 on that an hour, those settings are going to suffer. And then in the outcome is the children most in need, the children who are most vulnerable will be the ones who suffer. Yeah.
And that leads us on to the quote-unquote free childcare.
That's what got people's goats up the most. Not just actually the word free, but the word childcare. Because when you go through the manifesto, it only says childcare. There's no mention of education.
I'm probably in the minority that don't mind the phrase childcare. Because I do think what we do, in terms of what we know about the emotional attachments and the caring side of things, the care in what we do and the supportive and loving places that we provide for children. I don't know if I've just trained my brain over the years that the word childcare doesn't bug me. I prefer early years education, don't get me wrong, but I'm also very much that we are not schools. So I think, on the fence because the word childcare doesn't bother me.
I think it, though, reflects the wider society's view of early years.
Definitely,
And it's one of the worst things, and one of the things that's holding our industry back the most is that it's not seen on a par with primary and secondary education. It's the yeah, it's just childcare, they just play.
Yeah.
Boom, education starts when they get to primary school. When in reality, those foundations, I'm just lecturing to the choir here,
Yes.
but are probably the most important in a lot
And
of
I
ways.
get that. But I think that's why I've probably trained my brain, because I know how important it is. And I'm like, if you want to say that I work in childcare and I just play all day, that's fine. Like I've worked in long enough now for it to just go over my head. Doesn't mean I don't believe it's more than that, but I think I can take away from it that actually we do care for children. We are more than just educating them in the traditional sense that primary and secondary education do. So I'm happy to have a different phrase, because I think what we do is different and more, not more important, but it is as important. Do you know what I mean?
We always get thrown back that, early years doesn't matter because you could just keep them at home anyway and they'll get to the same place when they get to primary school. Yeah. But you could also argue the same thing. You could homeschool during primary school instead of sending them to primary school. And the odds are, as long as the parent is somewhat competent and doesn't just sack it off, they will still get to the same place. Primary school education will still work for them. So, look, at the end of the day, there's still a long way for early years to go. And it's still quite clear that we are a means to an end rather than a vital component of education. And it's clear through these manifestos. So, depending on whoever you're going to vote for, probably done that early years, would be the factor that decides.
No, have a look at everything else.
Way, it's not going to choose it.
And I think as well, we've got 4 days now after this goes out to make your decision, and I don't know which way is.
Do your research, make an informed decision based upon you as a person and what will most help your community, your friends, your family, and will benefit you the most. That's the only way really you can vote. Life's short. Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they all lie about what they're going to do anyway in the manifestos. So
not sure quite that's the way I named it. But at the end of the day, it's all very much of a much. And, hopefully, whichever decision the nation makes, hopefully next time we have this conversation, we're in a better place. Fingers crossed, eh?
Fingers crossed. Should we wrap up?
Yeah, because the camera as well.
The camera's given up. So we'll do on the platform on the book review first thing the week after.
Maybe we can just continue to do it as like a little this week on a separate post.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. It's good to be back.
Yes.
It must be coming. It's about 40 degrees in this office.
Yes, I'm actually looking forward to wrapping up. It's been lovely sitting talking to you, but we're now on a fluffy sofa.
Yeah.
The first proper week of sun, and I am sweating.
It's like a greenhouse in here, isn't it?
It is, yes.
It's good, this.
And on that cheery note,
can't wait for the next 2 months.
Thank you all for listening. We hope you have found this episode informative. Next week, we'll be back with something a little more
less divisive.
Early years specific, less political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the results will be out, mate. So actually next time we can discuss.
That'll be in the news.
In the news?
In the news. Who's won the election?
Yeah, maybe it will be. Maybe the Green Party have taken over.
We're going to get billions of pounds.
We'll have to dress like broccolis.
Woo! Have a lovely week, guys. It's good to be back. Let us know in the comments anything on the topic we've just
Let us know in the comments who you'll be voting for.
Well, yeah. Hope we make a decision.
But get in the comments and let us know what you would like to see more of. We did ask people what they would want to see in their manifesto, so come and join the conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll have some more bits and pieces up in the lead up to the election.
Yes.
I'm sure.
Enjoy your week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.